Hello everyone, it's me, Anthony Couch, a guitarist on YouTube, here in my new studio, bringing you this video all about playing the guitar with much more speed and precision. I know that is something that a lot of guitar players want. So I've come up with this exercise that I'm going to show you today that aims to get you, first of all, more precise, and from that, faster. I've been teaching guitar for a long time, and that tends to be the thing that a lot of people want, to get that precise, fast playing that all their favourite guitar players use. Let's say you're playing over a backing track like this one, and you're mixing it up between, melodies that you're thinking up. This is all improv, phrases, rhythmic ideas, but then you want to throw in a few runs that get from one note to the next, like this. Or dividing but slower, like this. And that's really what it's all about, dividing the beat. And I talk about dividing and subdivision a lot on this channel and in my video lessons, because it's only really when you start to understand where the beat is and where the next beat is and what you're doing in between those beats that you can then even start to begin speed. Getting faster. What I hear a lot of when I teach is that people can play fast, but they don't necessarily think about locking into a beat. If you're not locking into that beat, then you have to wave goodbye to that sound that you want. I know what sound you want. You want that John Petrucci, Yngwie Malmsteen, Paul Gilbert, widdly, 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 precise sound. We all do. So the exercise itself is actually based on something that I've heard Yngwie Malmsteen doing a lot. Yngwie's known for doing a lot of licks that sound like this. And I hear these licks and I think, do you know what? That is an excellent exercise. Yeah, it's a cool, flashy sounding lick, and he does it with the harmonic minor stuff, so it sounds way cooler than I did it. But there is more to it, because what he's actually doing there is he's priming his picking hand to be dividing the beats perfectly without thinking about any crazy notes, just dividing the beats. So then when he does descend down that run, they're perfectly in time. So that works as an exercise to take away the fast, frenetic left hand stuff and just think about dividing the beats on one note. Here's the exercise. Here's what the exercise is based on. It's based on this pattern. You're probably familiar with this pattern, I hope you are. If you're approaching fast playing and speed playing and you want to do playing like, those who I mentioned before, you should definitely be thinking of 3-note per string versions of your scales. This is the 3-note per string major scale shape. I'm playing it on fret 7, which would have you believe that I'm playing it in B major, which I suppose I am. But my backing track is in E Lydian. By the way, that backing track is available on Patreon if you want it. So I'm on fret 7 and I'm going up this nice shape. Let's have a look at the shape in a bit more detail. It's nice and symmetrical. There's a lot of doubling up. You get 2 stretches. Then you get 2 where you use fingers 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4. And then 1, 3, 4 and 1, 3, 4. Keeping it nice and simple, making it a bit tricky by thinking about it in E Lydian, but that's just fancy stuff that you don't really have to think about. Anyway, if you were to start at the top of this scale and just play the highest note to a click and play it 2 notes per click and then follow it with your descending run, just descend down that scale, it'd sound like this. And you can do it ascending as well, which sounds like this. And what you're doing when you're doing that is as I said before, you're priming that right hand in to get that perfect subdivision, that division. There's that word again. Dividing the beats into those notes, single notes, before you descend. I really do recommend doing this because it gets you to think about dividing the beats before you add the notes. It's a tougher exercise than it sounds. What does it sound like when I do it? Dividing the beats into threes. Well, it sounds like this. Bit trickier, but as long as you divide, you can't go wrong. I'm doing this at a BPM, I don't know what I chose. You can do it at any speed you like. What about fours? What does that sound like? Okay, and you know the value of the metronome. Any guitar teacher, any music teacher is going to talk to you until the cows come home about how important using a metronome is. But I actually want to say that it's not the be-all, end-all. Yes, other music teachers would string me up for saying this, but I think the moment that you come away from the metronome and do it to your favourite backing tracks, the better. You instantly hear how it sounds much more musical. You're about to hear me doing the 2s, 3s and 4s subdivisions to the backing track. Here we go. You can hear that I'm having to think a little bit differently because that weird dubsteppy whatever thing backing track that I made could put me off. So I have to think more in depth. You know, using the backing tracks has to make you think about more of the music, and it can put you off, but don't let it. The sooner that you do it to the backing track, the better. And as a bonus, it might spawn some more musical ideas that you can use in your playing, so there's that added bonus as well. Don't forget as well that there's thousands of backing tracks on YouTube. Just type in backing tracks. You'll get thousands and thousands in any key that you can dream up. And don't forget that you can press the little cog to speed it up and slow it down accordingly. That's really going to help with those subdivisions. Anyway, there's the exercise. Just get that right hand locked in, then descend, or get it locked in and then ascend to whatever divisions you want. I didn't do 6s to the metronome because it was way too fast. I could do it a little bit in my playing on the, to the backing track earlier, but when it came to doing it to the click, it was just too fast. So that's what I would do. I would go just on one note, then descend. But I would work at slower tempos and build it up, knowing that incrementally going up, I was locking in this hand before I even worried about this hand. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you like the new look studio and the slight change in how I do my videos. Let me know that you saw this video through to the end down there in the comments. That always helps to let it lets me know that people are interested in what I'm teaching and talking about. What do you want to see on this channel? It's all change here at this channel, so it does help when you put some input in there as well. And if you're new here, consider subscribing, and we'd love to see you over on the Facebook group. There's a link in the description, the Couch Potatoes Guitar Community, where people just talk about the favourite guitar stuff. They post the playing, ask people's opinions, talk about gear, technique, and all the rest of it. We'd love to see you there. So thanks again for watching. Extra special thanks to these names that help me out on Patreon. You can do that. There's some extra videos that you get with the videos that I put out and other things like the backing track for this video today. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching, and I'm excited to keep the channel going in this new chapter. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.